So James Cook is the latest NFL player to officially hold out from his contract. Obviously, it's been in the news a lot recently with Micah Parsons, Terry McLaurin, Trey Hendrickson. Now we have James Cook. Now, first of all, I just want to say I think we all know it's pretty obvious that this is just a negotiation tactic. It's pretty much a bluff 98% of the time, to be honest. So will Micah Parsons get traded? Will Terry McLaurin get traded? Will James Cook get traded? Probably not. And I think we all know that. The only guy that comes to mind that actually requested a trade and got traded in the NFL was DK Metcalf. But if you think about it, that trade request, that trade in general was in the works for a couple of years. So that is ultimately why DK got moved away from the Seattle Seahawks. He wanted out of there for a hot minute. I know Terry McLaurin wants to stay with Jaden Daniels, and I know Micah Parsons wants to be a Dallas Cowboy, and I'm sure James Cook wants to stay in Buffalo with Josh Allen. I just had to address that first and foremost. Now, this all started Sunday after James Cook refused to practice, missing his first one of training camp, and someone asked him why, and he simply replied with the word business, which is pretty hilarious to me. Now, James is currently 25 years old. I'd say that's definitely the sweet spot age for RBs in the NFL, because as we know, they definitely have a short lifespan in this game. So 25, definitely not too old at all, and definitely not the youngest. So he's right there. And he's entering the final year of his deal, which has a $5.27 million base salary. He signed that contract after his rookie deal expired in 2022. Now, apparently, James Cook and the Bills have been trying to work on a deal for the last few months, but they just haven't come up with an agreement yet. Even Brandon Beane had a quote on it saying it takes two to tango, meaning I have a pretty good hunch that James Cook is being pretty stubborn here, and I feel like he wants a pretty high number. So Bills fans, I'm curious what you think about James Cook. Would you pay him a premium contract? Would you be okay with trading him, or this being his final season in Buffalo? I'm really curious what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Now, I just want to say right off the bat, in my opinion, the running back position is the easiest position to replace in this league. You know, just take a look at every NFL draft every single year. There's guys in the third, the fourth, the fifth round consistently every single year in every NFL draft. So when a team, a franchise, a business can just replace you with a third, fourth, fifth round pick, I just don't think RBs have a lot of leverage, and that's really been clear the past 3-4 years. They've been severely underpaid. Yes, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and David Montgomery have signed pretty good contracts in recent memory, but that's because they're top tier guys and they're the heart and soul of their respective teams. So if you're easily replaceable and you're not like a top 5, top 10-ish RB in this league, I would be really hesitant to pay my running back a premium contract if I was an NFL GM. Now, I like James Cook as a player. I do. Is he a top 10 RB? Probably not. Is he a top 5 running back? Absolutely not. Now, the number James Cook wants has not been reported yet, but there are rumors he is trying to get paid like a top 10 RB, meaning around the 15 to 20 mil range per year, which is absolutely redonkulous. To pay James Cook anywhere near that is just a no bueno to me. I'm good. I would gladly get out of the James Cook business immediately if he's asking for those numbers, and I'm pretty certain he is, but as time goes on, like I said, you lose this thing called leverage, especially when you miss training camp. You have to pay fines after each passing day. So I'm sure that number will come down. I feel like right now, if Brandon Beane can get James Cook for like 10, 11, 12 mil per year, I would happily sign that contract. But if he's going to be stubborn, if he's really going to over leverage himself, forget it, man. Just forget it. And just even reading some Bills fans' comments, they're totally cool with Ray Davis and Ty Johnson taking over for James Cook this year, which I completely agree with. When you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, I just feel like as a running back, it makes your job a lot easier. Just because as a defense, every single week, every single play, Josh Allen is a dual threat quarterback. So when you're in that position as a running back, your lanes, your space, your timing, you're going to have a lot more of it just because the extra attention and extra eyes on Josh Allen. Plus, the Bills' O-line is pretty solid as well. So hypothetically, if it's just Ty Johnson and Ray Davis and maybe Frank Gore this upcoming season, not a bad plan. Not a bad plan. And like I mentioned earlier, they could just address the running back position in the 2026 draft. They could use a first round pick, or like most teams do, use a third, use a fourth, and just draft a new guy that has fresh legs and that's not going to hold out and cause any drama. So let me know, if you were Brandon Beane, how would you proceed with James Cook? Let me know in the comments below. Now, I just want to throw a hypothetical trade out there that I think makes a lot of sense. Will this happen? Probably not, just because I feel like trades are becoming slowly a more common practice in the NFL. It's still not at the level of how the NHL and NBA does business. Obviously, in those leagues, a lot more trades go down at a more frequent consistency. NFL, we still get trades every now and then, but I feel like it definitely is a lot less common. So for this hypothetical trade, I have James Cook and the Bills packaging 2 first-round picks for, surprise, surprise, Micah Parsons. Now this trade makes a lot of sense to me just because, speaking of running backs, the Dallas Cowboys currently have Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams as their 1 and 2 heading into this year, and that's just not going to get it done. I feel like James Cook is a good running back, and I feel like he would be a pretty useful asset on that Cowboys offense. I think that would be a huge upgrade, and, you know, hypothetically, Dak Prescott healthy for a whole year, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, James Cook now. That's a pretty good offense, man. I mean, that would be a lot of fun to watch. And as far as for the Buffalo Bills, acquiring Micah Parsons would obviously help out that defense a lot. And I just feel like if you're Brandon Beane, if you're the Buffalo Bills, I would put all my chips in having an elite defense, especially with what we saw in the 2025 season, 2024, 2025 season. Defense wins championships. It's always been that way, but it's just a healthy reminder. So, you know, in January, if they could hypothetically have Micah Parsons, Joey Bosa, and just put that on the unit they had a year ago, I feel like your chances at making a Super Bowl appearance is definitely a lot greater. So that trade makes a lot of sense to me, a lot of fun. Will it happen? No, but I think it makes a lot of sense on both sides. So let me know what you think down below. And let me know what you think about James Cook, Buffalo Bills, and everything else in between. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.